oneui 8.5 is on its way, and it is going to completely transform Samsung's cameras. Let's go. So I've had oneui 8.5 for a while. The beta's been out, and I've been using this as my phone, one of my phones. I have too many. And I've been using oneui 8.5's camera setup because there's a lot that's changed. It's going to change how you use it too. Let me take you through it. First thing I want to highlight is the new settings layout. Samsung have reorganized things a little bit. They've sort of moved settings toggles around and created new headings and brought things out from different headings. Kind of made it cleaner and simpler to understand. So for example, if you want to prioritize quality, you can, because it labels it as that, as opposed to needing to decipher what maximum, minimum, and medium sort of mean. It's a bit more spelled out for you. And video settings now have kind of their own sort of menu option. And again, it's a bit easier to find what you're looking for. But the big highlight for me is Samsung have brought a feature out of Camera Assistant and made it mainstream. Save videos to external storage. So previously, this has only been a Camera Assistant feature where you had to go into Camera Assistant, but it's no longer in there because they've moved it out. Now it's a toggle in the main settings. So you go into the main settings and turn that toggle on, and then it allows you to plug in external storage and record directly to it. Once you've plugged in your external storage, it'll pop up a little USB-C icon in the top right corner of the screen, and then you just record as normal. And then once you finish recording, you swipe up on the video and you'll actually get to see where it's recorded to. It'll say USB storage, and it'll create a folder and save it all to there. Just a real perfect scenario if you want to bypass internal storage and go straight to something that you're going to plug into a computer maybe. It's just easier that way. Sticking in settings and going into a settings menu where that previous setting lived, that's into Camera Assistant. This is where Samsung have changed a lot. And not just changed things, they've added functionality. The first thing you'll see is sort of toward the top of the settings menu under the focus heading. And it's the autofocus, auto exposure whilst recording in Pro Video mode. This allows you to touch whilst recording in Pro Video to expose and focus on a specific area. Now, at the moment, by default, a touch will do both autofocus and auto exposure. This allows you to change that to just autofocus. That way, it won't change the exposure of your recording, it'll just change the focus. So you can go into this setting and toggle it between the settings that you like and leave it on the one that you prefer. The next one under that is focus peaking in Pro Photography mode. Well, Pro Photo and Pro Video mode as well. There's a toggle there that says always show focus peaking, which basically means when you have Pro modes open and you've got manual focus set, it'll always show what it's focusing on through focus peaking. Then underneath that, you get to choose the color. By default, it's set to green, but then you can choose whatever color you like. So if you want to highlight it with yellow or go something more funkier like blue or even red, they've got those options in there. Then you've got the line width. How wide is that line? Is it minimum? Do you want it wider? And you've got a sliding scale that you can choose from. All of it is just designed to help you identify your focus peaking to your comfort. Not necessarily how it's been told to you by Samsung, but how you want it to be. Then going further down and into the Photos menu, you've got advanced photo mode controls. What Samsung have enabled in here is more Pro mode style controls in just standard photo modes. You've got 4 things you can toggle with here. You've got minimum shutter speed, you've got minimum ISO, you've got white balance control, and you've got exposure control. The minimum shutter speed just gives you a few options. Basically, just is to determine just that, how fast the shutter is and how quickly it closes. You can determine it from a few of different options there. Same with maximum ISO, you've got that as well. The whole point of those two is it's meant to control your motion blur, and it's also meant to control your grain of your photo. So depending on how you want your photos to turn out, you can customize that to get a certain look or style. You've also got white balance control and exposure control. This will just basically put a white balance control toggle in your camera photo mode section, and then you can go and control it with the sliding scale in the photo mode. Same with exposure, but that was already there. It's just brought it a bit more exposure, if you will. That was a bad one. But you can see the difference it makes when you have the minimum shutter speed and maximum ISO set. You can see the output of the photo drastically changes. And even in the preview screen, you get to see that. Then you change it back to none, and then everything goes back to normal. So depending on how you want your photo to look like, you can go in here and change it. There is a new toggle in here for OIS under video, where you can actually turn off OIS. I'm not sure why you'd want to turn off optical image stabilization. I think just leave it on, but there's an option to turn it off should you want to. Then there's the presets in Pro mode. This is a big one. Previously in Expert RAW, or currently, in Expert RAW, you can actually save your settings as a preset option. So should you want to sort of change the look of your photo, you can customize some presets and choose them and select them as you need them. Pro Mode's never been able to do that until now. It's a bit different though to how it works in Expert RAW. The way it works here is you go into this setting and you can access it directly from Pro Mode as well, but you choose from the current settings. So whatever settings you've set in Pro Mode, you can choose from them and then save that as a preset, or you can upload a photo to it. So if you've taken a photo previously and you want to save that as a preset, upload it to there, it'll read those settings, even down to the camera that you used. And every time you select that preset, it will change it in Pro Mode ready for you to use. Just a nice easy way of getting the look that you want a little bit quicker. And Pro Mode giving you so many other options too, adding this in as a toggle or a way to access is very easy. It's very easy to go to it, find it in the Pro Mode, there's a little toggle there, press it, and all the presets come up ready for you to use. Samsung have also given us options to turn off some additional modes. The ones they've got in here is single take and dual recording, and you can go and turn them off. But as I use them the most, I'm going to turn them back on. I don't know why Samsung think we don't want these, but they've given us an option to remove them for some reason. You've also got something in here called Tilter Wireless Controller, and there's a toggle to turn this on or off. A tilter controller is basically just a style of controller that you can use to wirelessly control your lenses. So if you want to zoom, but not be touching the phone whilst you're zooming, if it's on a tripod or on a hand grip, basically you can just make sure that this can read it and connect. It only works in Pro Video mode, so it won't work in standard video, but the option is there to be able to put on one of those tilter grips, as you can see, and then pair it up to control it via it. But my favorite thing they've done inside Camera Assistant is customized indicators. This is the one where you can actually turn off those pesky little indicators that sit atop of your camera preview screen. Sometimes they're just in the way. Like sometimes you don't need these, or most of the time you don't need these, as they all live as settings and toggles down in that bottom 4-dot menu anyway. So I can go in here, turn them all off, and give me that nice clean preview at the top for both photos and video mode. That which means that I don't need to have them there. You can have as many as you like on or as many as you like off. It'll give you a live preview of what it will look like in the setting menu right there. But then you can go into your camera, obviously, and see what the finished product looks like. Just a nice way for me to further customize my phone. One UI 8.5, it's got a lot of extra customization touches. This for me lands the best because it's part of the camera. Camera's usually been pretty stiff. This just gives you that extra bit of control. Jumping back into the camera, and for both Pro Mode and Pro Video mode, Samsung have added an extra toggle. It's not a toggle that changes how you record or capture things, but it's a toggle on how you preview it. There's a little toggle here called Clean Preview. You press it, and it removes all of the distractions from around the preview screen and just leaves you with your lenses and your shutter button, and that's it, which is really all you need when you're taking your photos. And particularly in a pro environment, you don't really want to have them all in the way. So you can go into both Pro Photo mode, turn it off, and in Pro Video mode and turn it off there too. And you've got yourself a nice, neat interface to work with. Okay, I just went through and looked at some photos and one video that I took on One UI 8 on an S25 Ultra and One UI 8.5. I wanted to see if there's any processing difference that Samsung has enabled. And granted, it's probably not the most extensive test, but I've just sat here like going over the minute details of a few photos and one video. Maybe the grass is greener. And goodness me, it's just really hard to sort of split the difference. I did say that maybe the grass is a little bit greener in some of the photos, and you can sort of tell that processing difference if you really sort of hone in on it. And maybe the clouds have a little bit more dynamic range in them as well. And then the video, that was just near impossible to detect any difference. I also got my wife to take a photo of me, and the one on 8.5 just turned out all blurry because I don't think it was taken properly. Oh, she's just butchered that photo. But overall, it just doesn't feel like there's this drastic processing change that I've noticed in the difference of the output. Maybe over a longer period of testing, you might notice it, but because I don't live with the two S25 Ultras day to day, one's my wife's, and I can't just keep taking her phone from her, this is kind of all I've got to go on. I did take a 200 megapixel shot, just to really see if I could notice that difference. And again, both had incredible levels of detail. I don't think it's been that drastic change that maybe some people were hoping or expecting. It's pretty much the same photo because, well, they are the same photo. And the last thing that Samsung have enabled with One UI 8.5 that I think is going to transform the camera experience is log video editing. Previously with log videos, you used to have to swipe up on the video that you've taken, and it just gives you an option to correct the color with a basic sort of LUT. Well, for the most part, that's still there because when you go to the edit toggle and into color correction, where the little toggle is down the bottom, you can still apply a LUT, and there's a standard option there. And if you're wondering what a LUT is, there is a little information button that actually tells you what a lookup table does. It just basically corrects the color as per whatever settings that the LUT's been set to. Samsung by default for now have only given us standard, and when you select the standard, it does apply that color correction and you can see it. But they've also enabled a whole bunch of sliders for you to color correct yourself on device. Normally with Samsung's log, you'd have to go and send this to a computer to do, but now with One UI 8.5, you can do it on the phone. So you can adjust the brightness and all the other sliders, contrast, highlights, shadows, as much as you want. Go through and highlight them. And then once you're done, you can save the copy. And then because this was an 8K30 log video, it's taking a bit longer. So that is all of the new camera settings that you can expect from One UI 8.5. For the time being, it's on the S25 Ultra. Not too sure how many of them are going to trickle down to the other models. That is something we will wait and see, and I'll keep you updated on as we go. Make sure you hit subscribe to Tech with Benefits, 100,000 and growing. Don't want to miss out. You want to be a part of this community, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You.